So it's pretty funny. I decided on the topic of this video, sat down to start working on it, poured myself a cup of tea, and this was a message on my tea bag. Never regret your mistakes. Admire the courage it took to attempt the unknown. I know that most of you have not been waiting with bated breath for my next video after I said that I was going to be posting 4 days a week. I'm guessing that a lot of you did not even notice that I missed a few uploads, but I noticed. I set a goal back at the beginning of September to double my upload frequency on this channel, and last week it all fell apart. So here's what happened. First, I had some house guests visiting, and I talked about that in the last video, but it was great. And all of my company that I've had recently have been just the most amazing friends. They understand and support all of the things that I'm doing here on this channel. They watch my videos and they knew my goal for the month and completely supported it to the point of saying, we're fine with you filming with us around. We know that you might need time to editing. If you need us to back off, just tell us. My friends have been great about this. I asked them all for permission to include them in filming if I needed to, and they all allowed me to do that. But I didn't. I just didn't do a lot of filming when I was hanging out with them. And afterwards, as I've said before, just because of the way I am with company, I needed some recovery time, and so I didn't film during my recovery time either. And that would have been fine. Except that right after that, Kevin had some cancer complications that involved a big flare-up of pain, and we ended up in the emergency room. And we spent one night in the emergency room from about midnight to 4 a.m. That threw off my sleep schedule, that ramped up my anxiety and stress levels. It triggered me and things fell apart. So at this point, I think it's been about a week and a half since I uploaded a video. Maybe it hasn't been that bad. I just know that if I look at my calendar, there are a lot of places where there were supposed to be videos uploaded and videos did not get put up. And I feel like I let myself down. I'm struggling with it. There are a few reasons why this is such a struggle for me, and I'm having a hard time just letting it go. First of all, I know, and I only know this after some therapy to sort it all out, but I know that my values say that my family and my friends come first. And that doesn't mean that I don't care for myself, I don't practice self-care, I don't love myself. Just in the grand scheme of things, when we're talking about something like work or career goals, my family and my friends come first for me. Those are the things that are the most important to me in the world. They're the things that I care about. And when push comes to shove, that is where I'm going to put my energy. That is not a value that I was really raised with. I'm not going to say that my parents didn't love their children, because they very much did. I was just raised in a family that really valued being your best self. And that has caused a lot of conflict for me throughout my life, because I have often felt guilty for valuing my husband and child in a way that maybe I felt like my parents would not have approved of, in lieu of making my own way in the world, bolstering my own career, becoming the full person that I was meant to be. I was raised in a way that said that that was more important than connections with the people close to you. It feels very weird saying that because I'm not sure my parents would agree that that was the message that they were sending me out into the world with, but they're not really here to argue anymore. And I know that that is the message that I came out with. So, in light of those mixed messages, in light of feeling like I let myself down, even if it was in favor of the benefits that I get from spending time with friends and family and the importance of that in my life, I still feel like I failed. And that feeling of failure has resulted in just a ton of negative self talk. I found myself saying to myself, oh, you shouldn't set goals like that because you will inevitably fail in them. You are making excuses for yourself. You always do this. There's a lot of alwayses and nevers in that kind of self talk. And as that negative self talk increases, the way I feel about myself gets worse and worse. And I think that means that it's a great time to bring up that cycle of creative resources that I introduced to you a few weeks ago. If you look at the cycle right now, whereas earlier in the month I was very much into the section of creative stability and creative flow, I think that more recently I have dropped down into the creative anxiety section. When you look at creative anxiety, some of the symptoms of that phase of the creative cycle include being active in your work but pessimistic about it. And I have definitely felt that way. I felt like anything I produce probably won't be good, that anything that I make right now is going to be made in a rush. It's going to be done in a way that I'm not feeling great about. I'm behind. I don't deserve to make good content if I fell behind. I just am not feeling great about putting anything out into the world. The second symptom is procrastinating, feeling intimidated and drained. And I think you can tell from my language that I do feel that way. I am finding it hard to approach my work in a positive and excited way at all. Creative anxiety also involves struggling with severe blocks. And I feel like I am lucky in that I sat down at the beginning of September and kind of prepared myself for the month ahead by writing out a lot of ideas for content I can put out. But right now, when I look at those ideas that I already had, I am having a hard time resolving them into something real and solid. None of my previous ideas seem like something that I could build on right now, and I would call that a creative block. And finally, like all of the negative states in the cycle of creative resources, I am really feeling like my mind is focused on the past, on successful videos that I had recently and how I feel like I'll never replicate that, and on the results of these videos because I really wanted September to be a boost for this channel. And I'm feeling like that can't happen now because I didn't meet my goals. So knowing where I am in the cycle, I'm going to try to utilize that information to get out of this state. I have some strategies in mind that I'm going to share with you. They are appropriate, I think, to the place where I am in the cycle. And I'm hoping that over the rest of this week that they can start to break me out of it. And as September ends and I come into October, I will be in a new place instead of someplace drained and pessimistic. First of all are my simple mental health strategies. Walking and meditating are my two biggest mental health companions. They are the two most important practices in my self-care. So I am recommitting to those. When I look at my tracking over the past month of walking and meditating, it is pretty dismal. So I'm recommitting to taking morning walks. I'm recommitting to regular meditation sessions. And I believe that continuing those practices will really help rejuvenate my mental state. Secondly, I want to make sure that I am refilling my creative well by doing my self-care days, my artist dates, my Friday outings, the things that I have been doing for months now that have been really helpful to me, and I have rather neglected over the past month of working on the studio space, having company, and dealing with medical emergencies. I need to prioritize those outings, and I will be doing that again starting this week. I want to do everything that I can to immerse myself in the process of making videos as opposed to focusing on the results. And that means getting back into a regular creative routine to continue writing and working, even if I don't quite feel like it at the moment. And I am, for the rest of September, deleting YouTube Studio from my phone. If you're not familiar with YouTube Studio, it is the app that you use to upload videos to YouTube as well as to monitor your stats on those videos to see how many people are viewing them, how long they're spending watching, all of that information that is very useful if you want to tailor your creations to your audience. I can't avoid YouTube Studio if I want to upload videos. It's an essential tool in doing that. But what I can do is to only access it on my laptop and use it for that purpose. And for the rest of the month, just kind of let go of all of those view stats and watch time hours and all of that stuff. I do not want to concentrate on the results right now. Where I am in my process, I need to concentrate on the making of the videos. Now, that may mean that I miss a few comments here and there, and I apologize for that if I do, but I will try to check in on the laptop at least once a day, and I'm hoping that you will understand that this is what I need to do for my mental health and my continued creation for the rest of the month. So that is my plan. That's how I'm feeling about content right now. I know that some of you have probably experienced creative blocks, creative lows. You've been in this creative anxiety state. So I really want to share why it is happening to me and what's going on in my mental state so that we can talk about those things together. I would love to hear about a time that you have been in that state and what you have done to overcome it. So tell me about that in the comments, and I will get back to you when I check in once a day. I would also love it if you liked this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm not going to be watching those stats, but it does help my channel to grow. And until next time, I am wishing you love and joy and all of those good things, and I cannot wait to talk to you again.